So, for some context about the old voice actor that played Mr. Potato Head, Don Rickles, of course, he was a comedian back in the day. The only thing I've really seen him in, of course, was Mr. Potato Head from Toy Story. Well, recently, Letterboxd just put a random but familiar name on the Toy Story 5 cast, and maybe this is who's playing Mr. Potato Head. Maybe this is the actor that's going to replace Don Rickles in the fifth installment, and the new voice actor seems to be Jeff Bergman. Now, if you're not familiar with that name, well, after this clip, you may just recognize his voice and his name.
But many of you might know me as the voice of
Bugs Bunny for Space Jam, Daffy Duck,
Yosemite Sam. I'm Fosse Foghorn Leghorn. Sylvester.
Tweety Bud.
Now again, there is no confirmation that he is playing Mr. Potato Head. In fact, I don't know why Letterboxd just randomly put his name in the Toy Story 5 cast. But how would I feel if he was our new Mr. Potato Head? From the clips that I have seen of this voice actor, he has a lot of variety in playing these different characters. I mean, Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and many of the other Looney Tune characters are very iconic and distinct in their voices, and with him, he seems to perfectly capture their voice despite these characters being played by numerous actors for decades now. And I actually think he would be a perfect choice for Mr. Potato Head. I mean, hire the best voice actor that you can. Someone that has a lot of versatility and variety to his voice. I really hope that he can play Mr. Potato Head well because he and Mrs. Potato Head both have very distinct and unique voices. And I actually went from going, I don't know how to feel about this, to researching more about this guy and going, well, he actually wouldn't be a bad choice. Hopefully, he can play this role very well. But if you're going to cast the Potato Heads and Mrs. Potato Head, since Elistine Harris did pass away sadly a few years ago, I hope you give these two characters much bigger roles than you did in the last film. I love Toy Story 4 with all my heart, but the biggest issue and the kind of a nitpick of that film is the lack of the older characters. And the Potato Heads weren't really characters in the movie, but just felt more like accessories or just leftovers from the previous movies, and they did nothing in the film or provide anything to the story. So in Toy Story 5, please give these characters more purpose and more to do and give them much more screen time to make this recast feel more important. Now, who could recast Mrs. Potato Head? Because this is not just a video about Mr. Potato Head, this is about both of these characters since both the actors are now sadly gone. We did get a rumor that they would both be recast, but who would play Mrs. Potato Head? I would actually go with June Squibbs, which if you don't really know who she is, she's played many different characters in Pixar and Disney animated movies and was the grandma in Toy Story 4, but I think she could give that really distinct and unique voice for Mrs. Potato Head, could add some new life to the character if done right. Also, another thing is that Don Rickles' daughter, Mindy Rickles, wanted them to use Don Rickles' voice in Toy Story 5 under one condition. Mindy Rickles also said she'd be happy to have her late father voiced near in Toy Story 5, but it would have to be from actual recordings of the actor like they did in Toy Story 4, as she wouldn't approve an AI recreation. Now, first off, please do not do AI. Pixar is not going to do AI. They're not going to disrespect their actors like that. And I think it would be highly disrespectful to do that to Don Rickles. Toy Story 4 did use Don Rickles' actual voice and voice recordings since he sadly died 2 years before the film released. They're not going to be doing that for Toy Story 5. It looks like they are both, Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head will actually be fully recast. But AI? No, they're not going to do that. So I don't think any of us should worry about them using AI because that's starting to become more problematic in filmmaking, and we've seen it in results that is just painfully bad, and I don't think Pixar is going to do that. Hearing that both of these iconic and really awesome characters may get recast makes me a bit sad, but at the same time makes sense. Hopefully, the new voice actors they choose for these characters will be worthy to play these distinct and unique voices of characters. Hopefully, they'll bring the oomph and the life to the characters that we really, really want because it's still sad that both the actors have gone, and it's just going to be weird having two new actors play these characters that we've known for over 30 years at this point. So I really hope that these new voice actors will do very good on their part for this movie, and this also shows that we can't have a Toy Story 6. We can't keep going on and on and on and on with this franchise. A lot of the actors that are playing these characters are getting exceptionally older and older. Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Wallace Shawn, everyone. I don't think they're going to be able to do Toy Story for much longer. This fifth film has to be the last movie because now we had Slinky Dog getting recast, now both these characters getting recast. If Toy Story goes on forever and forever and forever, what if everyone gets recast? I mean, that would not be very good. I know Woody was actually recast in Lamp Life, but like if the whole cast was recast, if Disney just wants to keep milking this franchise, I really hope they don't do that. And I hope the fifth film is the last movie. And I hope that Potato Heads and all the original characters get their exceptional screen time for the movie. But what do you guys think about Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head possibly getting recast in Toy Story 5? Please comment that down below, and I will provide many more Toy Story 5 updates as the film progressively comes out in June of 2026.